Hey guys, welcome to hashtag straight poop. I got America's Cut pork chop sandwich for you guys. It's a smoke roasted piece of pork loin from a whole pork loin that we did earlier on another video. So this thing's about 2.5 to 3 inches thick. It's all meat, and I grabbed the remaining fat off the cap and pulled that away. So we're making a sandwich today, pork chop. It's gonna be drenched in homemade barbecue sauce, but the base is KC Masterpiece. Join us in the kitchen. Join us. Okay, during this series, did a few videos on the whole pork loin that I did. Smoke roasted that. I also did lemon scallopini. I did kebabs using the same pork loin. I did one on mushu, and I'm doing one here on America's Cut pork chop sandwich. Look how thick this guy is. That's an American cut pork chop sandwich. It's about 3 inches thick. It's all meat, and what I did, there's a fat here, right here, where it's whiter. I just pulled that off with my hands, okay? I don't want any extra fat, so I just pulled it off, okay? What do I have here? I've got a combination of keef and typical barbecue rub. The rub, there's about 20 of them in my cookbook. Go to the comment page, hit the link. You'll see several barbecue rubs, sauce verifications, and even dozens of woods. Their flavor, profile, everything is in there too, a chart. Everything's in there, man. No holds barred. I didn't keep anything out. Everything I learned from being competition barbecue cook and caterer and historian in both fields of barbecue and cannabis. So anyway, we're heating this guy up. He was at room temperature for about an hour. Okay, I got here, I'm gonna plunge him in some barbecue sauce. Basically, store-bought, my favorite's KC Masterpiece. Okay, I mean, I don't manufacture sauce anymore, otherwise I'd use mine. I can't get Baby Joe's, they're out of business, so I use KC Masterpiece. Also, there's 2 ounces of red wine vinegar. There's a shot of Worcestershire. There's a little bit of that minced onion. And the last thing I need to do here is give it a shot of hot mustard. There's also a teaspoon of ground horseradish. Okay, so I'm trying to get all the flavors that I like into this sauce, so when I sauce the bun and sauce the meat, it tastes great. Yeah. See, this thing's cooked already. He came off the portion of that smoked smoke roast pork loin, okay? So I cut many portions off of that because I did 5 videos from it. And I wanted to show you guys how versatile it is. And it really is, because technically, if a bone was around, if you had the bone here, it would be the rib bone. But otherwise, this pork loin is a pork chop without the bone. Or you could call it, you've seen them in the stores, they're thin cut. It could be rib cut, it could be pork loin chops, rib chops, thin cut pork chops. It all depends on what they're labeling and how much they can get for it. Okay, Delmonico steaks, you can get more for that than if you called it a ribeye. So, and you get more for a porterhouse because the fillet's bigger. So, than you would a T-bone, even though it comes from the same part of the animal. Okay. Now, I've got some buns. I just want to capture some of that flavor. Okay. In that sauce also, I've got a 1/4 cup of cannabis oil. And did I mention the granulated garlic? Then all I gotta do after that is give it a crack black pepper. Okay? There's Worcestershire in there, so I'm not gonna add any salt. Let's get this off here. And if you noticed, I'm using my new wave, because right now it's 10 degrees below zero. Otherwise, I would have just taken this chop and started a fire and started doing that. You know, just put it through. But what I'm doing here is I'm basically basting it in that sauce, okay? And it deserves that sauce, okay? This sauce with the horseradish, cannabis oil, KC Masterpiece, and all the other information or ingredients in there. Let me get that out. Now, what am I going to top it with? Well, I got sauce, but it's going to be more than that. Mike Ditka, Coach Ditka, he had a restaurant, several of them I believe, and his claim to fame was the America's Cut pork chop. Okay? However, I'm topping it with something special. I have a SLAW that I made out of red cabbage, okay? Now there's a nice vinaigrette on here. There's Worcestershire. There's soy sauce. There's cannabis oil. And there's red wine vinegar, okay? And a pinch of salt. And I just mixed it all together, okay? And then I'm adorning or crowning this guy like that. So let's get you a beauty shot of my America's Cut pork chop that came from a smoke roasted whole pork loin that we did in prior videos. It's simple, man. You got a piece of meat left over, you could do it just like this. This at a party, a tailgate, I'm telling you, man, you're going to impress your guests, and not only that, it tastes great. Pick up your free cookbook, pals. Poopers, my dogs love having you here. I do too. I appreciate the audience. I appreciate the fact that you stay and you watch our programs. Very, very nice view times. I really appreciate it, guys. I really do. Proves to us that what we're doing is appreciated. So we appreciate you too, poopers. Grab that cookbook, please, okay? Because these recipes are gonna start and you're gonna want them to read along and cook along, okay? So next time we'll be back on #StraightPoop. Make sure that you realize if you're waiting on us, you're loafing, hang loose. We'll see you next time.